somewhere along the lines I lost that a bit, and I suffered so deeply for it. I mean, lost almost everything, all my money, hurt my family, hurt the ones that love me the most, and I've been slowly but surely like fighting back and fighting, but not at the level that I fought at today. And that just showed me that I have so much more capacity that I'm giving to my business, to my wife, to my body. I'm a fucking marketer. Go ahead. I am a fucking marketer. That was shit. I am a fucking marketer. You don't repeat this. I'm gonna own this shit. I am a fucking marketer. And that is why I'm standing on this stage. Because I've earned the goddamn right to stand on this stage. Surreal moment to be standing here on this stage. I'll tell you why. Because I stood on this stage before. Not this very stage, but a stage at the end of the year of a Warrior Con. And it wasn't even called Warrior Con, it was called Empire. There was only about 20 of us in this room. And I stood on this stage after just getting done stacking my business with Garrett in fucking tears. Tears. Ready to burn it all. Like literally ready to burn it all to the fucking ground. I had grown from 300,000 a year to 3.5 million. We were on our way to 7, and I couldn't fucking take it. I wasn't paying myself. I was drinking. You want to talk about the triangle of insanity? Whatever Garrett called it when you had the third element? Launched my business November 2013. My little brother got married 2 weeks later. My sister-in-law got married 2 weeks later. Best friends of ours got married 2 weeks later. I got married 5 years ago on December 31st, New Year's Eve. 3 weeks of a honeymoon that I promised my wife while building this business. Came home pregnant. Had a daughter before we even had 1 year of marriage together in building this fucking company. Not only that, we decided to start a second company. That was a good fucking idea. 6 months later, we're pregnant with my son. And that's when it hit me. How am I gonna raise a man when I'm not even one? The fuck am I gonna do? Everybody looked at my life, thought it was all charmed and rainbows and fucking butterflies. And I'm dying on the fucking inside. And I find Warrior in this crazy band of brothers.
And for the first time since my NCAA wrestling career, I didn't fucking feel alone. I was normal. I could come into a room with that man, Kelly Curtis. I could step into the fucking ring with him, literally, and fight that motherfucker with fists and beat the shit out of each other and then hug him up. I could stand on a stage like this and be vulnerable and not be fucking judged. And I saw this. I saw this. Me standing right fucking here. What you write down fucking matters. I graduated Warrior Week 22. I graduated Warrior Week 40. I brother assisted for Warrior Week 28, Warrior Week 42, Warrior Week 45. I'm a graduate of Garrett Syndicate program, and I'm a motherfucking certified trainer. I have not missed a Warrior event in 3.5 fucking years. That is why I'm standing here. That is why that guy you saw in that video no longer exists. Am I fucking perfect? Hell no. Shit. Listen to my podcast, you'll know that. But I make fucking progress. And I'm a fucking marketer. I am a fucking marketer. Literally, I'm a marketer. That's what I do for a living. Can you get my slide up, please? So today, we're going to talk about no lead left behind. No lead left behind. There's going to be a twist in this. So this picture right here is literally a picture that I took my team in. We're growing really fast, and I own a marketing and lead generation company. That's what I do for business. People hire me. You can't figure out your fucking leads. You hire me. I do your leads for you. I charge you a price per lead regardless of the transaction. That's how we get fucking paid. And we happen to be in the home services industry. Solar, windows, roofing, doors, mortgage. But it wasn't always like that. We were doing all these things for all these different people. And I saw the solar market emerging. And I'm like, whoa. And then one of my competitors got acquired for $50 million. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I've done it all. I was a millionaire by the time I was 24, $100,000 in debt at 25, back to a millionaire at 27. I had 500 employees, $40 million a year, $100,000 a month in my fucking pajamas, racking lines of cocaine, driving Ferraris, keep up with the Kardashians. Fuck you, keep up with me. And I was emotionally bankrupt because I didn't have this. I didn't have a brotherhood. But I was like, I'm gonna sell my business. I'm gonna sell my business, and then I'm gonna go sell my story. I'm gonna be one of those guys you see on these big stages speaking to all these fucking people about my story. I'm gonna sell my business. So I put this slide up and I said, we're burning the ships, guys. We're going all in on the fucking solar market. That's what we're gonna do. We're going all fucking in, and we're going to get a $50 million acquisition. It was a heavy decision, literally. That picture was taken from my hotel room from Warrior Week 22. It's actually a snapshot of a video I sent to my wife going, I don't know what the fuck I'm getting myself into, but I feel something shifting. And I was carrying this weight. But why? Like I had a tribe. Like my company's called Media Mix 365. We call ourselves the 365 tribe. And I was creating this movement inside my business. I literally had a fucking, look at they put face paint on and shit. You come out of training and you become an official tribe member. Your first day of work, that's what you fucking look like. I had a tribe. We're all in. The acquisition's on its way. beautiful fucking office, Orange County, California, highest rent district in the fucking entire county. Ping pong match, you want to play some Xbox? No problem. Like pouring into everybody else. Pouring into everybody else. Not paying myself. Not paying myself. Just kind of using the company as a personal piggy bank, and my wife is seeing the P&Ls go up, but our net worth not going along with it. But I told her, I was like, you don't get it, babe. You don't fucking understand. We're building equity. We're building equity. She's like, well, can we live inside the equity of the company? Because we ain't getting paid. And I was like, we're going to sell this. Like, we're going to sell this business. And she said something to me, and I'll never forget. It was like a punch in the fucking throat. What if no one wants to buy it? The fuck do you mean, what if no one wants to buy it? Do you know who I am? Like, what do you mean? Have you seen our office? Have you seen our tribe? Of course they're going to want to buy it. She's like, why don't you just focus on building a super profitable business that anybody would want to buy? I was like, shit. She's been talking to Garrett, god damn it. And it just became heavy because I wasn't getting where I wanted to be. And I realized that, can I get the slide, please? Your problem is that all of you guys think that new leads are better than old leads. Like, more is more. More is more. Let me just go spend some money on marketing. Let me feel good about what I'm doing. Let me get more leads, because these leads are shit. These leads right here are shit. But the new ones, guys, I got this marketing campaign. It's going to fucking blow the doors off it. We're going to make it rain in here. You know all that stuff we did in the past? Forget all of that. It didn't work. I know, I'm sorry. We're moving on. Well, I thought the same thing. And I thought, well, what if there's a way to turn my garbage into gold? Take that bottle right there, drink it, it's empty, it's virtually useless. But then what happens? It gets what? Recycled. Only if you put it in what? The recycling bin. And I was like, holy shit. Here I am, I'm trying to fit myself into this fucking box. This box for these people who are paying me, who I eventually think are going to buy my company. And I'm trying to just be this thing for them. And they have these very specific and tight parameters. And we'd get all these leads going. And then they'd be like, oh, it was off because of this. And it was off because of this. And it was literally falling off the table. And I'm like, what if there's a buyer for these leads? What if we continued to nurture these people? What if we continued to invest in them? What if there was someone else that didn't care if the person had a 680 FICO score? They were okay with the 650, and they're willing to pay me $50 as opposed to my 120. What if I could stack up a lot more 50s than I could 120? And I wonder if these same people that are interested in solar would be interested in maybe home improvement, a new roof, maybe some new windows. Maybe there's some buyers because of that. What if we just continue to nurture these people along once they built trust with us, and I could recycle them over and over again without spending new marketing dollars? Well, fuck. Maybe that would be something somebody would want to buy. And so here's the thing that you have to understand is that not all leads are created equal. I can't go to LaRod and pitch him the same way I'm going to pitch Garrett. I've got to get to know LaRod. I got to have a conversation with him. I got to build intimacy with him. I got to know that Brooklyn is different than Arizona. If I go Arizona on him, I'm gone. So you have to do this with your leads. They're not all created equal. So this is the gap, is that you guys think more is more. And I'm not going to tell you that less is more. But what I'm going to tell you is doing more for what you have is more. And by the end of this conversation, you are going to be challenged. Like, I'm not going to tell you to build some big crazy tech company and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to tell you to just make some fucking money with what you already have. And here's a hint. Well, it's probably not in this room because Sam Falsafi would smash it. But if we were allowed to have phones, it'd be sitting in your fucking pocket right now. You want a lead source? Pick up your fucking phone. This is the gap you must overcome. It was literally my pit. I'm crazy because I'm connecting the dots right now, right at this moment. That gap that I couldn't get out of was my pit. Because I couldn't figure out, how to make this work, I was stuck in my own pit. Drinking, sedating. You guys don't know my past, but the fact that my wife and I are even together is a fucking miracle. Let alone 5 years. Married, 2 children, 3 thriving businesses, unheard of. And so you're down in this gap and you're like, I just need more leads. I just need more. If the leads were better, then I would be better and my business would be better. That's not necessarily true. What if you were just better? Then your business would be better. Then everything else would be better. I always thought that my marriage and my happiness and all this stuff was linked up to money, even though the time where my businesses were doing the most amount of money. 2008, you fuckers were drowning. I was swimming like Scrooge motherfucking McDuck. I literally was. And I was emotionally bankrupt. And so then I arrived back at this point. I have children and blah, blah, blah. Insert the warrior's way. Now I'm like, aha, I get it. It's not one or the other. It's not this game of balance. We talk about balance, but not in the same way that most people do. It's fucking harmony. It's making all this shit work together. My business is the boat. Body, being, and balance are the freaking motors and the rudder that push it forward. Or guess what they are? If they're not a motor or a rudder, they're a fucking anchor. So you move into your principles. And the first one I had to figure out was, what is it worth to me? What? You guys all focus on how little you can spend, cost per lead, cost per impression, spreadsheets for fucking days. But if I asked you, how much is a customer worth to you? Not right now, but over the lifetime. I've invested $250,000 into Wake Up Warrior. $250,000. Has it paid off? Fuck yeah. My 2 businesses this year combined will do $30 million. Would you trade $250,000 for $30 fucking million? Okay. Do you think Garrett White would trade $150,000 for my $250?
Absolutely.
But when you look at it, he's like, well, I got to spend $1,000 to get Nick into Warrior Week, and then I got to spend this on the hotel. But if he goes, I know if I make an investment into Nick right now, he's going to give me $250,000. Do you think I'm done investing into Wake Up Warrior, yes or no? No. I'm a certified trainer. $25,000 a year. For how long? For as long as I want to be a certified fucking trainer, which is forever. So when you understand the lifetime value of your customer, then the marketing cost becomes less daunting. Even if you go in the hole, you have to understand what a customer is worth to you. I was acquiring these leads, marketing to them one time, twice, 3 times maybe, and then I was thrown in the trash. Now, we continue to make money off of those leads, and I've had to spend less on marketing to do way more. I was like, I'm a fucking marketer and I'm schooling myself. Talk dirty to me. Not literally. I've been talking some shit in here about tits and all sorts of ass, but talk dirty to me. You heard Garrett say it. He stole my line. I wanted to come running out from the back. Marketing is storytelling. Religions have been built on storytelling. Companies that you know by one name have been built on storytelling. People love stories. You need to tell stories about yourself. Raise a hand. Who in here is listening to my podcast? All right, the rest of you, like, subscribe, download, rate, and review. I work with Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies. Tesla, Solar City, Sunrun, Home Advisor. We're working on a contract with Home Depot right now. Do you think that prevented me from launching my podcast? You listen to my podcast, I tell all my dirtiest, darkest secrets. All of them. And it's so freeing. And if they don't want to do business with me, fuck them. It wasn't meant to be. They're probably lying. But you guys are all sitting here going, well, if they find out about this and they find out about that, who fucking cares? I love that last scene in 8 Mile where he just gives it all to them and he mic drops in front of their face and he walks off. The reason why my podcast is working, over 250,000 downloads. I launched it in April. 1, I'm consistent. 3 shows a week, every week. I haven't fucking stopped. I did 5 this week. There's 1 right now. There are over 1,000 people listening to my podcast right fucking now. Stand up if you're in my coaching program. Stand up. Okay, every single one of these fucking men that have paid me tens of thousands of dollars came in as a result of my podcast. Franklin, step forward. He's the only one that wasn't an existing lead in my database. Stand up if you're a guest of one of my coaching clients. New fucking prospects. Are you getting this? I went to my warm market. I told stories. They listened to my podcast. They came in. I got results. I got a cold market lead. And now I'm getting secondary, tertiary leads. Cost me fucking nothing. Gentlemen, I honor each and every single one of you. Thank you for being here on this important day.
What's the name of your podcast?
Next 90 with Nick. It's in the Warrior Empire. Next 90 with Nick. You have to talk dirty. You have to tell stories. Like, I don't care if you're fucking chiropractor or you're a plumber. Make it about you. Tell stories. People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. How is trust built? Vulnerability. We're men. We're not supposed to be vulnerable. How many of you in this room who never knew me feel connected to me just in the first 15 minutes of this? Because of my vulnerability and my willingness to do that. You have to tell stories. This is one that, like, I didn't want to look at. Data may disappoint, but it never lies. It'll tell you the story if you're willing to look at it. Like, if you understand your customer lifetime value, if you understand all these different metrics, you will have way less anxiety about actually spending money. But a lot of us, we don't want to go there. We don't want to understand the numbers of our business. I ran into our chiropractor friend. Poor guy, he's just getting fucking hazed. I ran into him at lunch, and I just went through it with him. I was like, hey, man, like, the reason why Sam could dissect you like that, because, like, I know the numbers of my business. I know that we're on track for 12.9 million. I know that my trailing 12 months is only at $700,000. But our actual EBITDA is going to be over $1 million. We took some strategic losses in November and December of last year so we could mitigate some tax liabilities that I fucking had. I know that our average revenue per employee is $450 a day, which equates to $52.5 per hour on my actual cost of $32. So I am making a little over $20 an hour per rep profit. Now, do you think I'm scared to add reps if I know that I can make $20 per hour per rep in profit? No, it just becomes a rinse and repeat game. But at one point, I was fucking terrified. I'm on my knees at home. And my little baby girl is trying to get my attention. And my wife, it was like Charlie Brown's fucking teacher. Wah, 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 wah. And I just heard my wife go, Nick! And I looked and she's like, where the fuck are you? It was the weight. My payroll this last 2 weeks for one fucking company was $277,000. That's fucking heavy if you don't know where you're going. I used to come to these events riddled with anxiety. I'd come out, me and Russ Perry would fucking laugh because I would have a barrage of text messages, just fucking chaos. And he'd have two, one with an update on his business and what his fucking wife ate for lunch. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And now I'm scaling. I'm scaling fast because I understand my numbers. And another thing, one man's junk is another man's treasure. Something that you think is complete shit could be worth a lot of money to another human being. So we were in the solar market on my choice, right? We'd gone all in on this solar market. And I'm like, fuck. These guys, like, they don't want to pay me for these leads that are missing one or two elements. So I tasked my team. I'm like, there's got to be fucking somebody. There's got to be somebody that'll buy these leads. We found a lead marketplace. And we're like, holy shit. Let's throw our leads into this lead marketplace. It's like think of it as like a stock exchange, right? Where people are like bidding and all this kind of stuff. And we threw these leads in one day and it was like, $500. Oh, shit. $500? Yeah, let's do that again tomorrow. $800. Whoa, $800? Yeah, let's do that again tomorrow. Yesterday, while we were sitting here, I did not fucking pick up my phone. I didn't talk to my office. I didn't do anything. Yesterday, that marketplace, $22,000 fucking dollars of revenue yesterday. These were leads that would gone into the trash. I used to do 180 leads a day. Yesterday, we did 850. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, no buyers. 67% buy rate yesterday. Data may disappoint, but it's not gonna fucking lie to me. My table scraps turned into buffets. And it started to blow my mind. This one lead exchange alone has been $10 million in the last 2 years. Would it be worth it to you to spend some time, understand the lifetime value of your customer, put together a strategy around talking to them quite frequently, continue to recycle that same thing over and over again, look and measure it, and go and see if there's other people. If you're a chiropractor, maybe there's an acupuncturist. If you're an electrician, maybe there's a plumber. If you're a coach, maybe there's a different fit for your program. This has happened to me even inside of the Next 90. But when you understand all these different matrices, you can make decisions from a place of what? Certainty, abundance, clarity. Do you think I go home right now and fall to my knees and ignore my daughter? No. I come running in the door. Some of you men have been there to witness this. And they come running into my fucking arms. And I feel at peace. for just a little bit. Because I know that I'm in this game called expansion. I'm in this game called expansions, which means it doesn't fucking stop. So I celebrate, I recalibrate, I recalculate, and I fucking go. All right. So I'm going into the production, and it's crazy how things work, right? I'm famous for saying there are no coincidences. In fact, I have another coach outside of Warriors, and it's strictly just like a Christian coach, and it just because I'm on the fringe. I don't know what the fuck I believe. And this guy, if there is a God and he exists, this man is like a beacon for him. And I've known him since I was like 13 years old. And we meet once a month just for lunch and just like a sanity check. It's like, you good? Married? Everything cool? No bankruptcy? All right, cool. Let's eat some salmon and, talk about fly fishing or whatever. And I'm always saying, like, such a coincidence. It's such a coincidence. It's such a coincidence. And he always smiles. And I go, I know. Coincidence is God's way of being discreet. So I believe that God came here in the room today or yesterday because Russ was talking about get some ass. And then we talked about like unicorn vagina. And so my production, I already had this plan. It's called the quadruple D's. Now notice I didn't say double D's. That wouldn't be enough to resurrect your motherfucking lead campaign. You need some quadruple D's. I don't even know what the fuck those are. You get to that stage, you ain't got no problems other than those things. You guys are fucked, by the way. You can go home, all fired up, pounding your chest. How was it, honey? Oh, it was great. I learned how to get some ass. I learned about big tits and unicorn pussy. And by the way, I got you a nanny. And she's like, what the fuck happened there? Oh, shit. All right. This was a game changer for me. Just fucking decide. Like, make a fucking decision. The gap between the decision and the thought of this decision is where all your anxiety, fear, stress, resentment, animosity resides. Indecision is like the worst single decision. Decide who you are. Decide what you do. Even in that moment where I showed the picture to my staff and I said, we're burning the fucking bridges and we're going all in on the solar market, was a fucking decision. It was the wrong one, but I wouldn't have known that. And I wouldn't be here talking about $22,000 in additional revenues had I not made that decision. So just fucking decide. Stop being fearful and just decide. Your fear will subside when you decide it. Your fear will be replaced with like anticipation and being excited. And then you come back to the strategies and you just kind of keep doing this thing. Just decide. Garrett talked about, like I heard from the backstage, how like 2.5 years of just this like clusterfuck. When I decided this, it looks like a ring to you, but it represents the decision to go all in on me. On fucking me. And my business is part of that. My marriage is part of that. My physical body is part of that. And the way I view myself in the mirror is a part of that. And once I decided, it all fucking changed. It all changed. And it took that decision to go all in on me first. But it started September of 2015 by the decision to join this brotherhood. I don't join Warrior Week 22. I don't even want to say maybe because it's a 100% certainty my business is not here. I'd like to believe that my marriage would be, because I still believe that it's like divinely intended for Nicole and I to be together. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Michael Munsterman. While my wife was on stage at WarriorCon 2, or I don't even know what it was, I'm in the audience crying. Fucking crying. And everybody's like, oh, what a sweet moment. I wasn't crying because I was fucking proud that my wife was on stage. I was crying because I was fucking ashamed. Because I was hiding. Because the week before that, I had just been in a fucking strip club in Missouri doing blow. 2 years into this fucking game. But guess what I did? I decided that wasn't fucking working. And I closed that gap between what you feel now and what I feel right here. So you just have to fucking decide. It's not perfection that we're chasing. It's progress. Garrett said, hey guys, opening up an opportunity for people to do a podcast. I said, I'm in. What's your podcast? I don't fucking know. I'm in. I just knew. I knew that I needed another outlet. I knew that I needed something besides my business to give me some purpose. I decided. The craziest part about all of this is deciding to go all in on me. I can't even tell you. I had to spend less time at work getting this. Hours of video consumption and video creation and note taking and, oh my God, in the midst of launching a podcast. Spent less time at work, but I was less anxious. I get my CT ring in June. And my executive team calls me, and by this point I got a CFO, a COO, a CMO, fuck, who else knows, whatever, fancy title, all making six figures, deep six figures. And they call me in and they said, we want to show you something. I said, okay, show me. And it was just one slide. I said, we got this. I go, what does that mean? What does that mean? I said, we got this. You have had us for so fucking long, and you have bled so fucking much, years without paychecks. And we see how happy you are right here in this moment. Like, we fucking got this. You don't need to show up. You can come in. We'll have a board meeting once a month. We have weekly executive meetings. You're more than welcome to attend. Here's our fucking plan. Here's where we're going. Here are the numbers. Here's how we're going to monetize. Here's how we're going to fucking grow. And you go do you. It was kind of fucked up because I was like, it's what I've always ever wanted. But then somehow my brain, Michael, felt insignificant. My hustler right now is trying to hustle more in my king business of Media Mix. Because I'm like out here in a drift going, what do I do next? And so I go in there like, you motherfuckers aren't moving fast enough. And they're like, it's not called the you're not moving fast enough plan. It was called the we got this, now go the fuck home plan. But it started with the decision. And then you define. You define your market, create your avatar. You're not going to sell Girl Scout cookies to the Cub Scouts. Like, figure the shit out. If you're a chiropractor, you know the fuck your audience is. Holistic people. Secondary medicine. You might be able to target them on Facebook. Tell your story. Talk about you and your journey inside of this. Open your fucking mouth. There's these two things on the side of your mouth. It's called a little hinge. You go, hello, my name is. And you start telling your story to your defined audience. People that want to hear from you. Like, we knew that going all the way over to say credit card debt was maybe way too far out of our niche because we're putting solar panels on the roof or marketing for solar panels on the roof. But a new fucking roof probably made some sense. And while we're there, how old are your windows? 20 years old. Well, it seems to me that you care about your energy efficiency. And I'm not very good at math, but those windows are pretty fucking old. Why don't we take a look at those while we're there? Would you like to do that, Mrs. Jones? Yes. Cha-ching, just rang the register for another $35 fucking on that one call. And by the way, how much is your mortgage payment? When's the last time you refied? Because we're going to be saving you money on your electricity bill, but imagine if that was double-ended and you saved money on your mortgage payment as well. Cha-ching, just rang the register for $40. So we defined who our market was. And then we did something that a lot of you guys miss. Come on, baby. We actually did it. We decided, we defined it, and we fucking deployed it. Not knowing if it was going to work, not knowing if it was crazy. But if we didn't do that, do you think we would ever have known? No. A lot of you guys are going to write a bunch of shit down in here today and not do a goddamn thing. How do I know? It's just a matter of fact. You're going to make all these decisions. You're going to define what you want, but you're not going to deploy it. And the decision you're not making is that you're fucking worth it. And your family's worth it. And it's time to go all in on you. The last thing that you're probably going to hate the most, I should probably go back to the breast slides. You got to dedicate some time. Like Garrett was talking about this. Dedicate some time. 3.5 years into Warrior, 5 years into my business, 5 years to the We Got This plan. 5 long fucking years in the We Got This plan. Like, I wanted to give up every step of the way, but didn't. Sometimes I was holding on to the tow rope, and sometimes I was up front like Leonardo DiCaprio, like, woo! But I didn't fucking give up. A friend of mine, good friend of mine, back in the 2008 thing when things were just going crazy for me, he said, you know what, dude? You got fucking lucky. I said, what do you mean I got lucky? You got fucking lucky, dude. You don't have kids. You have a mortgage. You don't have this. You don't have that. I literally want to come across the table. I said, let me ask you something. You're married, right? And he's like, yeah. It's like, and you guys don't have any kids, right? So we got that in common. So the marriage and the mortgage and all this. Okay. So what if you had to sell your fucking home? What if you had to sell your home? Would the in-laws take you in? Oh, yeah, they got plenty of bedrooms. Okay, so you guys could sell your home, so you eliminate the mortgage. You can move in with them. Your expenses would be super low, and you had to work your fucking ass off for free. Maybe borrow, beg, steal for 2 fucking years. But at the end of it, I was going to hand you a check for $2.5 million. Would you do it? Would you do it? Hell yeah. I said, well, that's the difference between me and you, motherfucker. I did that shit. And I didn't need your fucking permission to do it. So fuck you and your luck. It takes time. Do your children become teenagers overnight? Do they become teenagers overnight? Yes or no? No. It takes fucking time. Is raising children hard? Yes or no? Yes. Is it also the most rewarding thing you ever do? Yes. So is running a fucking business. You're giving birth to something that didn't exist. And it's all nimbly and bimbly and wobbly, fucking throws up and shits everywhere. Keeps you up at night. Keeps you off your wife's tits. But then all of a sudden something happens. They do something. You're like, life. And then they move on to the next stage, and they move on to the next stage, and they move on to the next stage. And next thing you know, you're standing there watching them walk down the aisle or head off to college. It's running a business, guys. I'm doing this shit since I was 22 fucking years old. I don't even know what it's like to have a job. But I know what it's like to have a purpose inside of me that transcends into my companies. You wouldn't give up on your children. Why the fuck are you giving up on your business? All right, so we've crawled out of the pit, and we're standing on the road. We know what we need to do. We just got to fucking do it. Like, simple as that. Like, I tell this story on a podcast. There's a guy, my wife and I bought some property up in Idaho, and it's beautiful, 88-acre ranch. And there's this guy that he lives kind of adjacent to our property, totally off the grid. This guy's name is Chris, and Chris is a former Marine. I learned something. There's no such thing as an ex-Marine. Don't ever say fucking ex-Marine. Former Marine. And so Chris has got PTSD, and he kind of struggles. He's got his family, and it's like this, shit, man, the house is damn near duct taped together. Completely living off the fucking grid. He created his own well. Scrap wood for this house. And he's got 4 girls. He's got 4 girls, ranging anywhere from 17 down to like 1.5. And Chris spends all spring, all summer, and all fall doing one thing. Chopping fucking wood. And not in the sense like my good friend Jim Stagg, who I believe is in the building, says, which represents doing the work daily. Like literally axe, ka, ka, ka. You can literally hear it. And it's just the repetition of him swinging the fucking axe every day. Every day. Why do you think he does this? Because his family will fucking die if he does not chop wood every single goddamn day. They will freeze to death. They will be trapped. They will fucking starve, and they will die. Shouldn't we all be so lucky to have that as a circumstance to continue to drive us forward? Well, the truth of the matter is, we do. We do. We just don't recognize it. Our family is fucking dying when we don't do shit. Our marriages are dying when we make commitments to be home at 7 and we constantly come home at 8:15. Our children are dying when we're too tired to play with them. When you chop wood, the physical act of chopping wood, I'm becoming like a woodsman. With my axe skills are actually pretty damn good, son. Split that shit on one rep. It warms you twice. Literally, it warms you twice. The physical act of doing it, you burn calories, you sweat, you get warm. You then take it, and guess what you do? You put it in the fire, and it doesn't just warm you. Who does it warm? Everybody around it. Every single person around that fire gets warm. Your family gets warm by you doing the work daily. You do core 4, guess who will eventually fall in line? You send your wife text messages every single day. Guess who will start sending you text messages? You know what I did today? I did my core 4 in here. Not a motherfucker around. 5:30 a.m., running, skipping, crying. Stood right here. Hey, babe, it's me. Of course, she knows it's me because I'm in the video. Take 2. Hey, babe, it's me. I'm standing on the stage where 1,000 souls are going to come in and hear my story. But the fact of the matter is it's our story. None of this shit is possible without you loving me and believing me when I gave you every fucking reason to leave. I always saw this in my mind, but it never became possible until I started loving me the way you did. And I'm so fucking happy and proud at this moment right now. Sent it off to her. Her reply back: "You've just captured everything I've ever wanted in one fucking message, besides the F-bombs." Literally, it said that. She hates when I cuss. I'm like, welcome to fucking Warrior, babe. I did the fucking work today. I put myself into a position of power so that I might reach one of you fucking guys in here that's drowning. I chopped wood and I put it in the fire, and maybe some of you are going to be warmed by it. Maybe you guys are just some cold, bitter bitches that need to defrost for a little bit. Come back and hear this message over and over again. It ain't going to fucking change. You need to chop wood every single day. So the one door that I'm going to challenge you guys with, and I'm going to skip through this because it doesn't fucking matter what I say. It really doesn't. That's what you guys don't get. It doesn't matter what I say. It's a matter about what you're hearing right now and what you're going to fucking do. Do it or not. I could give two shits. Because I know what I'm going to do tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. Because there's a deeper message here that I'm going to leave you with. But the one door that I want to challenge you with is to create $10,000 from your current lead garbage can. A prospector for gold does not walk up to the river and go, shit, where's the gold? I think there's one. Oh, look at there. There's some gold. No, that motherfucker gets on his hands and his knees, and what does he do? He scoops up fucking dirt, and he sifts, and he sifts, and he sifts, and he sifts, and he looks. God damn it, there's nothing. To get just a couple of fucking specks. You have gold sitting in them damn darn hills. Go fucking mine that shit. You're a realtor, your leads are in your fucking phone. You're a chiropractor, they're in your fucking communities. You're a marketer, they're online. They're there. Doing a video costs nothing. Sending a text message costs nothing. Email campaigns cost nothing except for your fucking time. And the winter's coming, my friends. It always does. Do you have your wood supply? Or are you going to fucking freeze? And freeze your family in the process. So invest. Invest into yourself. You guys have already taken that first step because you're here. And something is percolating inside of you right now with all the shit that happened up here and the Warrior Week videos and what you've seen and not seen. Something's percolating. It's called the voice. God, intuition, the universe. It's already fucking telling you what to do. Invest in yourself. Go all in on you. Invest into your market and understanding who they are, what they like, where they're at in their customer journey. Take some fucking space and then create. But invest. Segment. Not all leads are created equal, as I said. But if you know your customer lifetime value and you understand where they're at in their journey, then you can segment them and talk to them differently. Just in my example with Garrett and Larod, talk to them differently. Understand where they're at. Segment your lists. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. different product offerings. Here's a little hint. Unless you're, like even a realtor, I don't know. If you have one fucking product to offer, you're fucking dead. Like, you're dead. Someone is going to come and eat your fucking lunch. You don't have a business. If you're not marketing and you only have one product, you have a fucking expensive hobby and you're in hustle mode. Strategize. This is something I'm not so good at. I'm kind of let's build the airplane as it's going down the fucking runway. But at least I know I have an airplane. But this is why I have my teams. My teams are really fucking good at this. I'm like tip of the spear. I'm like a bull in a china cabinet. And they strategize and they figure out how to like manifest the chaos. And then the last thing, split test. You heard Naveen talk about this. Who fucking knows if it's going to work? Who knew if this was going to work? Garrett's talking about hitting that e-brake. He does that shit all the fucking time. We're like, okay, well, I guess we're going this way, Garrett. Well, I know, we're going back that way. But we know it fucking works once we test it. So I want to play a video real quick for you. And this is the twist, and this is the end of this that I really want to leave you with, because all this shit is great. But let me show you what truly matters. Can you guys pull up that video, please? Is it good? You need a little time? So, before the video comes up, I'll just pre-frame this a little bit. I was so stoked when I found Warrior. And we used to do these events, these quarterly events called Empire. They're fucking great. Some of the guys in the room are back that were in the Empire. And we get together every quarter. Honestly, it's the only thing that kept me sane, is getting back every quarter and seeing a guy, and one quarter he's on fire, the next quarter I'm on fire. And it gave me permission to level up all the fucking time. And it also gave me a place of distinction of where I was and where I wanted to go. And I got handed the microphone. I like the microphone. And I made this comment. And I said, my kids are so fucking lucky. Because the only thing they'll ever know is a warrior father. And it was the dumbest fucking comment I could have ever made. Because my kids will only know a warrior father if I chop fucking wood daily. I want to show you a video. This is what really means something to me. Who's your hero?
Daddy.
Who's your best friend?
Daddy.
Who do you want to be like when you grow up?
You.
How much do you love me?
Too much.
Too much? Give me a kiss. I love you. He'll be 3 next month. Doesn't fucking matter what he thinks right now. When he's 30, it does. And he will only know this man if this man continues to choose the work and chop wood every single day. It's easy for me to be his hero right now. I'm like a goddamn giant, you know? It's like, well, here comes the giant that feeds me. I better be nice to him. And I have to continue to be a giant. And I have to continue to feed him. So this no lead left behind isn't really about fucking leads. Where do you think the no lead left behind came from? No man left behind. Lead your fucking self. It starts with you. Your business problems are a result of you. Your marriage problems are a result of you. Don't leave yourself behind. The best lead you'll ever have is fucking you. The best investment you'll ever make is in fucking you. The best monetization strategy you'll ever have is in you. Once you lead yourself, the other leads will come. The other leads will come. Just like they are to this movement. Garrett led himself first, which gave us all permission to do the same. I hope to God, one day, I'll be trying to hold him, he's 30 years old. And he says those same words. But actually his hero is himself. Because I taught him how to lead himself. And when my daughter does walk down that aisle, she's marrying a man that she sees gave her mother the same love. So what the fuck are you waiting for? It's time to go all in on you. Lead yourself and leave no man behind.
The miracle will happen. It might not happen the first time you open it. It might not happen the second time you open it. But I promise you this, at some point this will fucking click and your life will be unrecognizable.
I became a different man. I don't compromise. I don't negotiate. I have this clarity and certainty of where I'm going, and I don't negotiate with anyone.
You can't put a dollar figure on that. And this right here is all the work, all the effort of all the men that have come before me in the palm of your hands. It's an opportunity for you to change your own life and change the lives of those that are around you.
And even in the start, I started to change. There's been a lot of work. I've done a fuck ton of work. I devoured the content once I got it. I studied, I worked, I made it my priority because there was nothing I was going to do that was going to help the rest around me, to be, I didn't know how to be a better father. I didn't know how to be a better husband.
My relationship with my wife is on its peak. For that, I'm very grateful. My business has exploded, and that is because this concept of warrior is growing from the inside out.
And I just would say, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you take that chance? Why wouldn't you find enough value in yourself to make this decision, become part of a movement, a brotherhood? It's the best thing I've ever done.
It's too hard to do it by yourself. And I don't choose to do it by myself anymore, and now I don't have to.
The results came. I changed. I found my way out.
It wouldn't have mattered what that cost would have been, because I knew there was no price I could put on leveling up. There was no price I could put on my family and my kids and my wife and becoming a better version of myself. There's no price tag. There's no price.
And the best news is in the decision, the change begins. If you decide, your life has already changed in that one decision, in that 1 second.